What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tiny Tyler, and in today's video, we're going to be answering the question, did this version of Supergirl work? This video is heavily focused on my opinion, my thoughts, my take on the film, things I liked, things I didn't like about it, and I would love to hear from you all down in the comments. What are your thoughts on it all? I actually have some questions for more of the comic book nerds out there, for anybody who would like to illuminate me. But I do want to emphasize this film from the beginning has had this snowball of haters. I mean, it seems like DC just has that are surrounding it now, where people almost want to see DC fail. They could put out the greatest piece of fucking art ever, and so many people will just shit on it. And to each his own. If you don't like it, like, everyone's entitled to their opinion. But like I said in the last video, I'll probably say it in videos to come, if you're going to be an asshole, take that shit somewhere else. I welcome opinions, I welcome discourse, I welcome different conversation, but like, if you're going to be an asshole, just take that fucking somewhere else. Like, I got no time for that. With that out of the way, let's get into this. Answering the question, did this version of Supergirl work? And like, for me personally, I'm 100% saying yes. Like, fuck yes, actually. There were definitely things I didn't like. I'll be honest with you up front. Like, I really questioned Millie Alcock's, if I'm saying her last name right, how she was going to portray Kara. I don't know, like, when I look at her, when I try to envision her as like in the role of a superhero, like, I just see the young girl from House of the Dragon still. So it definitely is like a part of my own perspective, like evolving how I see this actress. But like, at the same time, she doesn't have that demeanor to her. Like Gal Gadot or even Scarlett Johansson, like, they had there was something about them, and people will say it's like their physical appearance, and their physical appearance is a factor, but there it's also this like, so what I'm looking for here, it's a way they carry themselves too that is much more believable as a superhero. And it's not just a woman thing. You see it with dudes too. Like Ezra Miller as the Flash, kind of same vibe for me. It didn't carry over well, as like, he didn't really give me that sense of like safety that a superhero would give, like Henry Cavill's Batman, or sorry, Superman gave. Whether you like Man of Steel or not is irrelevant here. I'm just saying it's like there's an essence from the way the actors and actresses portray themselves that immediately give me confidence that they'll fucking nail it. And with Millie Alcock, I was just like, I don't know, man. I'm open to it. Like, I'm willing to be proven wrong, but I was really questioning it at first. So, but like, I was pleasantly surprised too. You know, like, my history with the character of Supergirl is really like, I'm not a huge comic book person. I mean, when superhero entertainment like was at its peak, in my personal opinion, was like mid 2010s, and like in that time period I was so invested in it all that I started to read some comic books, like the Arrowverse and stuff like that. I read Green Arrow stuff, comics. I read some Flash comics. I read some Captain America comics, some of the Civil War stuff, some Hulk comics. One of my best friends at the time was like obsessed with Hulk, so he had a bunch of them. So I did read some comics, but I never was that immersed in that world. So it's like the comic book fans, like, I'm open to learning more about that. And one of the questions I have for you all, to all the comic book nerds out there, is like, one of the things they introduced in this film that I've never seen in a Supergirl or Superman adaptation on screen before was this idea of a green sun. And so the impression I was getting was that the green sun like radiated energy that was at least molecularly, I don't know if that's the right word, like chemically similar. It influenced the body in the same way kryptonite would influence a Kryptonian's body. And I found that absolutely fascinating, because I've never seen that in a depiction of Supergirl or Superman before. And what I'm going to refer to as like the supers moving forward, I've never seen that before, and I thought it fascinating. So like, I'm curious, all the comic book nerds out there, like, is that accurate to some comic book lore in the supers comic book runs? And I'm imagining it's vast. So anybody who would illuminate me on that would be really fucking cool. But I'm curious. Anyway, I digress. Back to my point. The point is, like, my history with Supergirl is mostly based to film. Sorry, not film. Television. Yeah, and film. Yeah, because there's the Arrowverse adaptation of Supergirl, and then there was the Supergirl we saw in the Flash film from a few years ago. And the interesting thing to me about it was this version of Supergirl had like a brokenness about her, like a darkness about her, that the creative team like let themselves explore with the super. And you don't see that too often with like a super, with a Superman or with a Supergirl. I mean, I think like the closest adaptation we've had to a super being like this, there's like a dark darker tone to them was Man of Steel, but it wasn't the same way. Like, it wasn't the same where like he's broken. It was him wrestling with his morality and his godlike abilities, you know, and what he should do with them and his role in the world. And there was just like a darker tone to that exploration, whereas Kara in this film is just like, she's fucking broken and she's drinking herself to sleep at night. And if you've been around on the channel for a little bit here, I've shared this before, but like this is where my bias comes in, because I deeply resonate with that. Like, I had a lot of alcohol issues. I had an addiction to alcohol in my early to mid 20s. And so, and not the kind where I was just partying. Like, I was literally drinking by myself, sleeping, going to get to sleep at night. And so like, I really resonate with that type of story arc. And so for them to not only give themselves the permission to go to explore that in a superhero, in like in a hero's journey arc, but do it with a super, like, that was fucking really cool to me. And I have to say, like, I was pleasantly surprised with Millie Alcock's portrayal of all of this. Like, I really enjoyed Jason Momoa's performance as Lobo. Like, I don't have much comic book history here to go off of, but like, it was like his portrayal was fun to me. I love characters who are just like, they fully embrace the darkness. Like, yeah, I'll fucking kill you and I'll do some really reckless shit just because I want to. Like, those types of characters are my favorite, like, especially like villains. You know, when you talk about like Thanos, like, I enjoy Thanos in the Avengers films because he really believed he was doing the right thing. Whereas I love when there's villains or villainous adjacent characters who do the wrong thing and they enjoy it. Like, that is fun for me to watch. So I really enjoyed that. I thought the story overall was pretty good. Like, one of the things, like, seems to be a reoccurring theme in female led superhero films is, and I'm indifferent on it right now, but there's always this arc where, and you saw it in Black Widow too, where it's women having to rescue women from like male overlords. And I would love to see more female-led superhero films explore different heroes' journeys than that. I get it's probably a big thing for women to like feel empowered against the man, but it's starting to feel like it's getting a bit redundant. But like, that minor critique aside, like, it didn't take away from my enjoyment of the film, because I really enjoyed the arc with the relationship built between Ruthie and Kara. I liked how there was like this friction from the beginning, where they didn't see eye to eye on many things, where they almost feel like they were, not that the writing was forcing the relationship on us, but like the relationship itself had to be forced in order for them to forge a stronger bond. And I like that. Like, I like when they put that kind of friction in there, where it's like one of them really wants to join up with one another, but the other one doesn't. So like, Kara was like resisting Ruthie's help, but Ruthie really wanted Kara's help, and she could see the benefit in it all. And I liked how over time, like, Kara slowly softened and let her guard down and let Ruthie in more. And it ended up turning into this moment where at the very end, one of the things, and this is, it kind of comes back to my point on, I like how they took this version of Supergirl into a darker, like, the overall theme of the film didn't feel like it was darker, but Kara had an edge to her that you normally don't see with a super. Like, in the Arrowverse adaptation of Supergirl, she was not this, she was very hopeful. She was very optimistic. She, like, a lot of the adaptations of the supers is like, they're happy-go-lucky, seeing the good in everything and everybody, and this one was like, Kara was burdened with seeing the truth in the world. She was had more of a realism to her, and I really appreciated that. And like, I feel like this kind of came full circle at the end, where that moment where Ruthie was about to seek revenge with Krem, and instead of letting Ruthie go into the darkness, where she would have to plunge her soul into the darkness to either go further into it and just like keep killing people type of thing, you know, turn into like a Joker type of character, or she could plunge into the darkness and then use the darkness to find her way out, like kind of what Kara's arc was subtly implied by drinking all the time. Kara essentially, the sword to me was like a metaphor for Kara taking that burden away, where it's like she was essentially in essence was saying like, you don't have to carry this burden of darkness. You don't have to plunge your soul into the darkness within. You're still going to have challenges to face. You're still going to have battles to overcome, but like, you don't have to go to this dark place. Let me take that from you or for you. Let me hold that for you. And it wasn't just like that sentimental moment that really got me. It was the fact that Kara then went and fucking killed Krem. Like, I did not see that coming. I think I saw somebody say online that like, that she actually did it in the comic books, but so the Woman of Tomorrow comic books that they're adapting this story arc from, and whether they do or not, like, again, comic book nerds, feel free to illuminate me down below, but like, I just think it's really cool that they went to that place with a super. It's just like a different spin on a Superman, Supergirl story arc that we typically don't see. You know, I mean, Henry Cavill did do it in Man of Steel. Like, his Superman did kill Zod. But this feels different to me because like it was very clear that Kara did not have to kill this man, and she did it like almost without hesitation. Where the Superman Supergirl story arc is usually they have this moral compass that says we don't kill because they're held to this standard of godlike power that humans aren't typically held to. And so they have this morality clause where it's like, I'm not going to kill. I can't do that because then people will fear me. And I think it was cool because they did this off planet where Kara didn't have to worry about that standard being held in her, and she could just do what she knew she wanted or needed to do. To me, it felt like it was more of like an internal need that she needed to fulfill. But I really enjoyed that, you know? I enjoy when they take characters down a turn that we typically don't see, or they explore like a darker tone with a character and allow a character to be fucking broken. Like I feel like it really illustrates the humanness within everybody and everything for that matter, like just nature itself. Because being human, in my opinion, is nature. And being broken, feeling broken, having those down moments is a part of the human experience. And I love that they went there with a superhero who is depicted with these godlike powers that, by all intents purposes, we would typically hold to a higher standard. And with Superman, we typically do. You know what I mean? Like, even in the Superman film from last year, like when he was being vulnerable and showing his human side, it was, I get scared, I love, I get hurt. Like he was just sharing these emotions he feels, and that's wonderful. That's cool too. I don't mean to diminish that storyline or that version of Superman. Like I honestly, surprisingly enjoyed that version of Superman too. For whatever it's worth, like I used to really, Superman was like on the lower tier of like the superheroes I enjoyed watching the most. And the supers as a whole. They've grown on me over the years. But anyway, so that's a cool storyline too. But I've really enjoyed how they took it a different route this time. Where Kara's just like, I just see the truth and it's like, I'm gonna fucking kill this guy. You know? And I think that's a lot of fun for me to watch. Kind of throws me off guard a little bit. And again, I think this was in the comics, the Woman of Tomorrow comic. So like again, comic book nerds, feel free to let me know. So it might not have been a surprise to you all, but yeah, it was really cool. I really enjoyed it. And to kind of pivot this slightly is like, I feel like they are setting Supergirl up in the DCU to, I feel like this film really set her up to not be like a household name type of deal, you know? I mean, I don't know how I want to phrase this. She's not going to be like the top tier faces of the Justice League. You know, when we think of the Avengers, we think Captain America, Iron Man, the Hulk, Thor, you know? We think of those figureheads, but you don't think of like Ant-Man, so to speak. But his movies were still, you know, pivotal in the MCU, the Infinity Saga, and we'll see with the topic for a different day. But his movies were still pivotal in the Infinity Saga, and I feel like that's the tier that Supergirl's gonna fit in. And from my understanding, she has been confirmed in the upcoming Man of Tomorrow film next year, and I feel like that just kind of further solidifies my opinion that she's gonna be like, I don't know, an A level, not an A level superhero, like I don't know, like the B level superhero where like her films will be important to the DCU, but not like headline splashing type shit, you know, not how like Deadpool and Wolverine just like blew up. It won't be like that, but she'll always be like a supportive character. And you know, who knows, if they do Justice League and stuff like that, she'll probably be in it, but she won't be like the centerpiece of a Justice League film. But which is kind of contradictory as I said that, because Ant-Man was, because I'm comparing her to an Ant-Man tier superhero, Ant-Man was pivotal to Endgame, so I don't know. I'm kind of contradicting myself, but I think that's where she'll fit into like the larger DCU picture. And I feel like they're setting that up pretty perfectly because like her story arc in this wasn't like a big grandiose thing. It wasn't pivotal to something going on Earth. It happened mostly off planet. It didn't really, I mean, obviously it tied into Clark, and I feel like that's how they'll always tie her in back into the DCU proper. But it'll never be like a huge centerpiece unless they prove me wrong, like the Endgame scenario with Ant-Man. But anyway, those are my thoughts on it. I'd love to hear from you all. Did this version of Supergirl work? And again, if you're going to be an asshole, please just go somewhere else. Like, I got no time for that. I'm not going to tolerate it on this channel. I do this stuff for fun. I have no intention to make money off this. I just enjoy film. I enjoy the art, the craft of it all. I enjoy like the storytelling. I really fucking enjoy it. And I just want to explore that with other people who just want to have discourse on it. Whether that you agree or not, doesn't matter. We can have civil discourse without people being an asshole. So it's the assholes out there who can go fuck off. The rest of y'all, again, if you disagree with me, I welcome it. Because I know this film seems to have had a lot of friction around it. Polarization maybe around it. So anyway, if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, all the things. And yeah, that's it. Peace out, y'all.